Okay, hello, Tyler Bryden here. I hope everything's going well. Can't believe it, December 2025. Another year gone by. So much has changed in the world, so much technology, growth and evolution, a massive change in the adoption of these technologies worldwide, the awareness, the understanding, the usage of them. And it's all around a very exciting and rapidly changing time, especially here at Speak AI. So today, for the last time in 2025, wanted to go through our monthly roundup, our what's new in Speak. This is the December 2025 edition. And as always, lots improving, lots to share. We'll walk through one by one, make sure that you're up to date and you've got everything you need to get benefits from Speak. I think quickly, for those who have never seen one of these videos before, or maybe just coming across Speak for the first time, we're a company called Speak AI. The software platform is called Speak. And really what we do is we take audio, video, language primarily, conversations, meetings, recordings. We allow you to capture, transcribe, translate, analyze, and structure that data into valuable insights that you can use both personally and professionally. A lot of teams right now that we're seeing are research teams who are analyzing large data sets of interviews and focus groups and really expediting and getting huge time-saving and cost-saving benefits from that process within Speak. We're seeing the same thing in sales. We're seeing the same thing in quality assurance. And there's a ton of great applications of Speak that we encourage you to explore. So let's jump into these actual updates. First one I wanted to cover is this idea of white labeling Speak. And there's been a bunch of great branding functionality within Speak for a long time. Since we first started, that's when you're sharing your media player, you're sharing libraries, all of these great things. But we've really taken this a layer further, which is allowing you to host your Speak assets on a personalized domain, a subdomain of your choosing. This actually used to be a very complex process. We were doing this for enterprises only. Lots of manual work to make that happen. We spent a lot of time and effort to actually make this more accessible for great teams and people like yourself who want to white label Speak, share insights, share media, or capture recordings while protecting, while highlighting your brand. And really, Speak just operates in the background, the infrastructure for you to operate that. And so now, super easy process. You can click on the profile icon over on the top here, and then there's a subsection called custom domains. And so in this instance, you can pop this up, send us a message, and we'll help guide you through the setup and the pricing. We've tried to make this clear, and actually for a limited time only, we're offering some special pricing to the first 100 users who actually activate a custom domain within the system. Here you can see that there are 3 options available to you. One, the embeddable recorder, also known as the survey, where you're actually sharing a mechanism to go capture audio video recording. So we have a ton of teams using this, and you can change the logo, you can change the color. We're going to talk about some of these other customization options that are available, but at core, I can also change the link up here. So instead of recorder@speakai, it could be survey. It could be survey.yourdomain.com. And now when you're sharing this with your clients, when you're sharing this with your team members, it completely honors your brand experience and really adds a layer of professionalism into the experience that you're having with Speak and then the people interacting with it are having. So it is a pretty easy process that we've now done with that unlocked. You're going to get a CNAME record for your domain, then your SSL certificate to make sure that it's secure. And so really all I'd have to do, add my custom domain. In this case, I would go player.tylerbryden.com, and you can see it's now going to give me the credentials. I'm going to take the CNAME, drop it into where my domain is being hosted, and within 48 hours, you'll see this live. If you have surveys or other things live, you'll see that link update in the application here as well too. There's some great help documentation for this here that walks you through exactly how to get this live and even some troubleshooting just in case you run into issues. And of course, we're here and happy to help. Just one last piece, like where does this come into play? We already mentioned the recorder, the survey, and sharing that out. You can also see this URL when you share a player like this, and this pops open. You often get this after a meeting where you get your meeting report. You can host this on your own domain. And then lastly, when you share a folder or repository, you can also host it here. And this is where we're seeing a lot of teams share with their clients media, share insights that they're generating. And so all of a sudden, you don't even have to share with that speakai.co domain. You can share it with yours and really keep a powerful branded experience for you, your team, your clients, and any other stakeholders. And just as a reminder, there is that limited time offer for the first 100 people who take us up on activating their custom domain. So please feel encouraged to jump on that, and we'll be happy to set you up for success. Okay, so next we have this survey, this embeddable recorder, using those terms interchangeably for any of our legacy users and customers there. And really, we've added another deeper layer of customization to these surveys so that you can provide a better end experience for the people that you're capturing recordings from. And so if I go into my surveys here now, take a look at one of our surveys. We can see some responses are here. And there's some of the normal information that we've had and options. I wanted to then focus on this section here, which is customization. And what you can see is that there are now options that allow you to modify the survey in a even more granular way. You can hide the waveform, the title, you can hide or show the description, you can show a countdown when you're recording, and you can even modify the button label. In terms of branding, we've actually added a bunch of options here as well. You can see the light and dark theme here. So now if I go to dark, I can save, I can pop this open and see the dark theme is enabled. In addition, say I want to change those fonts. Poppin's Classic for Speak here. I can grab one of these fonts. Let's go Railway because that's got a little bit different look here. And I can then refresh and see that change immediately. So a great way to keep that branding intact across a website. And it just is another downstream impact of this idea of white labeling where everything fits your brand and really Speak just fades into the background, but is a powerful tool for you as the user. What's important about this is that you can make these changes without modifying the URL that you've shared. So I want to share either the dedicated branded page like we have here. And in the start, I didn't want to show the description, but now I do, or I want to add the countdown. All of these things can be easily edited within the interface without using the URL parameter control mechanisms that I showed you last month, which are a great customization and very friendly for developers, but maybe not great for someone who's not technical, not a developer, or wants to keep that link static and never have to change it, which makes a lot of sense. So simply, all we have to do in that previous view, we had the description showing. We now want to hide that description. And then we want to turn on the countdown. I can go up, I can hit save, and now I can refresh this survey. You can see the description is now hidden. And if I want to record, you can see the countdown is turned on. It's now recording, and I'm going through that great survey experience that you've become so used to at Speak AI. Additionally, I showed you a few other pieces that are new to sharing the survey, which are fantastic. One is that we're actually automatically generating a QR code for you. We were working with some teams who were using QR codes constantly and placing them all over the walls during events and all this stuff. And we said, hey, you're using another service to do this. Why don't we automatically generate this for you? Here you go. Here's your QR code. So a great way to streamline that and put these surveys up visually in environments where people are in person, and a great way to actually capture feedback or session reflections or whatever it is using the recorder and survey infrastructure here at Speak. As always, you're able to embed the survey directly onto websites, and you can see the code is here. We've added a couple other ways to customize that. And we've also added a fantastic script function here as well too, where you can populate this in the bottom left or right of the website. And so it can actually hover here or it can hover here and hang out there all the time. And so we've seen arise, just as an example, of some podcast customers who are collecting almost like voicemails from their fans, from their listeners, from their audience. And instead of just having that on an individual page, they wanted to embed the survey across their entire website. This allows you to do that. With a couple other lines, you can actually add a little image or icon similar to what you have down in a little widget chat, often in the right-hand corner there. And so you can embed it behind that and then pop up and very quickly visit the site and capture feedback through voice with people. And of course, you get the transcription, you get the analysis, all of that great stuff. Okay, so what else? We've got a very nice integration with Slack. This has been something that has been desired for a long time, and you can now easily manage. What's great is you can choose specific events and then push it to channels that you would like it to populate. And so for our team, we've created a specific Slack team channel, and when a media file is ready or we are doing analysis or summarization of that file, that automatically comes through into Slack right away. And it's a great way to just keep Speak's powerful functions top of mind for your team. Many of us who are using Slack as a way to communicate and interact with each other. Additionally, what's fantastic is if I do Speak AI bot or /chat, I can actually interact with Speak and I can query data. I can basically have a chat analysis across all my files to retrieve an answer or find something that I'm looking for. And so again, that's a function that you can do directly in Speak, but maybe you're in Slack or you're on the go and you want a quick little response from your files. You'll ask the question, it will query the data, it will provide the response back, and it will sift through all your media to make sure that you've got the right information isolated and then the answer that you're looking for. So directly in integrations within Speak, you'll see the Slack icon there. You can then connect your Slack account, and it's a great function that we're happy to see added to Speak this month for you. What else is going on? For any of you who are using the meeting assistant or would like to use the meeting assistant, one of the things that you've always been able to do has been to sync the calendar, but not everyone wants to sync their calendar yet. In some instances, they want to be able to have the meeting assistant join. And you have always been able to do this through the Capture Live meeting. And so you can paste the link into the call. You can say what folder you want it to go to, and then it will join the call at that time. But the other option that you have is very simply in your Google Calendar, in your Microsoft Calendar, add assistant@speakai.co to that calendar event. It will automatically join that call. It will record, it will transcribe that call, and then save it to your folder. If you have an automation for summarization turned on, it will do that automatically. And we've just really worked to make that more reliable and even route it to the right person. So say a bunch of you are users of Speak, and you are the one who invites assistant@speakai.co, it will realize that you are the one who invited it, and it will join the call and then route it to your folder. So more reliability, more accurate routing, and really the goal is make sure that the file ends up in the same place and that there's never a meeting that you want it to join and the Speak AI bot does not join. Another long-time request for especially enterprise customers or people managing a bunch of team members has been basically the ability to apply global settings specifically for the meeting assistant. And so we are happy to say that is now added to Speak for owners and admin within the system. And so if I am one of those, an admin or an owner, I can visit app.speakai.co/meeting assistant. I can open the assistant preferences, and then down at the bottom, I will see the global settings. Now, if I modify the name or I add an image or I change any of these settings, I can then hit save. And this will actually apply to all the users within the account. And so this is great if it's a functionality, if there's a requirement that you have for your team members to follow when they're joining Speak, and you want to not have to manage that one by one or tell them to manage it. Very simply, you can apply that as the default setting as an owner or an admin, and it will apply. In some instances, it could take a couple minutes to just run through, and especially if there's a bunch of meetings scheduled and all of that. But generally, this should be almost immediate and apply successfully across your accounts. We're now getting a little bit more granular into member management, but this is obviously an important thing. I can edit team members, and what we've been able to add now is some more specific settings around the meeting assistant, and then also the profile setting. And really the use case here, for example, say I'm the owner, the admin, I want my team members who are joining to follow these settings. I don't want to record videos of the meetings. I only want to record audio, or I only want it to join these meetings. Then I want to apply that. I don't want to worry about a team member then overwriting that. And so within the team member infrastructure, I can now modify these permissions very granularly and then let team members access that functionality to overwrite or not, depending on those permissions there. We've also enabled that in profile settings, which has some pages and functionality where maybe you don't want non-admin, non-owner users to be able to modify. And so we continue to improve this permissions function, which is great for teams that are growing within Speak and want more control and standardization across accounts. Now, with that goes inviting team members. This is a bulk team link ad that we shared last month, but we added one other functionality to this, which is allowing you to change what authentication methods you want them to be able to use. And so what was the use case here? Teams wanted to invite team members to Speak, but they needed them to have single sign-on authentication. So I can now say, hey, I don't want them to be able to log in with just email and password. They have to use Google to sign in. So then when you grab that invite link, I've got it here in incognito, you can see that you can only continue with Google. So you're basically forcing that single sign-on authentication, which is great for improving the security of your team and those who are using Speak. And so that's a great little functionality we've added to the team member invite options. And that's specifically when you use that invite link. Okay, so another great improvement to the system, if you have the meeting assistant, this is a request that we've been getting. Can you include the speaker email as well? This allows you to do a bunch of things, especially if you're using the API. Maybe you're passing information and you want to know who's talking when and all of that. Really that underlying ability. You can see even with that export option, I can actually check the box to export the speaker emails, and that's now included. You can see a sample of this in the text node here, and you can see my email and old friend Sai on our team there going back and forth. So those are the major updates on the month. So I just wanted to highlight a couple last things. It's the end of the year, 2025. Speak as a whole has improved dramatically, and we've also included huge improvements to the price of Speak. And so right now, at the end of the year, you can see incredible offers for both the monthly and the yearly plans. If you're a Speak user, hit manage plan or click limited time deals up on that top bar there. You'll see some of the options, and we've really tried to create these plans based on years of working with individuals and teams, the amount of data processing they need, as well as the functionality within the system that fits what they're trying to accomplish and what is valuable. So take a look. If you have any questions or anything, you can always send us a message, or if you're looking for even deeper white labeling and personalization and all of that, we're here. We're doing a lot of great stuff for some of the customers that we work very closely with. Otherwise, you can use Speak, the software as it is, and you're in a great spot for the rest of the month here with our best plans that we've ever offered to date. Lastly, I just wanted to flag one more thing. If you're willing, if you're able, we would absolutely love your feedback. It really means the world to us. And so I've got a link in here, or maybe if you're in the app, you'll see this request for feedback. We'll give you some credits directly in the account that will never expire. You can use those at any time for transcription, translation, and the AI chat and analysis. And really, we want to know, how are you feeling about Speak? What do you like? What do you dislike? And what can we do to improve Speak for you in 2026? So we will be carefully reading each one of those. We cherish your feedback, your experience within the application. And it really does. It means the world to us to get your time using the application in a few minutes of your time to share how that experience was and how we can make it better for you. So really do appreciate that. And with that being said, as always, it's an honor to serve you. Thank you for everything. I hope you have an amazing end to 2025. I'm Tyler Bryden, the co-founder and CEO at Speak AI. There's some incredible team members behind this platform. You've probably interacted with Vatzel before, maybe Sai there. We've got some other great team members who make this platform what it is. And we love working with you. We love hearing from you. And we're going to keep working hard to make this system better for you to achieve what you're trying to achieve. So thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing rest of 2025, and we'll see you in 2026.